Well, here we are again for another fun evening, and one of our regulars is missing.
Unfortunately, Mr. Archer O'Reilly is off on an adventure. So not unfortunately. Unfortunately, he's not here, but fortunately, he's off on an adventure.
Shall we tell everybody where he is? He's down in Virginia.
Okay, go for it.
Williamsburg.
What's he doing down there?
Well, he's going to a convention for that historical group that I'm not going to, the Cincinnatus, or the relatives of Cincinnatus, and some of George Washington's relatives, I think. I really believe.
Excellent.
He's tied in with them somehow or other.
Yeah, he's definitely a very patriotic person.
He's historical.
Yes, historically patriotic.
He is.
So,
he
wore that uniform. What's our show? What's the date? June?
Today is the 9th.
The 9th.
Yeah.
This is our June 9th show, and we just had Mother's Day on Sunday.
Yes.
Mike, what did you do for Renee? Maybe you played her a song?
Flowers.
Flowers.
And we had something good. I did a takeout.
Nice. What'd you get takeout of?
Chinese.
Perfect. What's your favorite?
Whatever she wants. It was Mother's Day.
That's the right answer. All right, what do we have on deck for today?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's see.
You spend a lot of time researching this and
I do.
compiling this each week.
Yeah, but now let's see if I can find all the papers that I should have taken with me, and I probably left.
I think they're in there. They're just folded over.
No, I don't think they are, believe it or not. I left them in the other folder.
Oh, your notes.
Yeah, all the other notes. Well, that's all right. Okay.
Use the
I got
clippings.
a bunch of things here that we can use anyways, I think. A few. I was talking to Renee about it before we came. You came up and picked us up, me. And it was about a terrible, I don't know, it's a con game. These 25 foreign students, their visas are running out.
Okay.
They got to get new ones. These, they call themselves brokers, educational brokers and consultants and advisors. They get news of stuff like this. I don't know how. But anyways, it works this way. They call up the kid and they tell him, we know your visa is phasing out soon. You come from overseas from some country there. We don't know where you're from, but a friend of ours told us. Anyways, they tell about this university. It's called, what is the little state under New York? Do you remember?
The little state under New York?
Yeah,
Was that Rhode Island?
No.
Connecticut?
No, you're close.
Delaware.
No. New Jersey.
New Jersey. Well, that's not a little state.
I know, it's not so little. All right. Anyways, these brokers sell this story that they have connections with the University of North New Jersey.
Okay.
Anyways, these kids are no dummies. They look it up and they see it's listed in these pamphlets and things of colleges in the country. Shouldn't be, because it's a fake.
Ooh.
The kids aren't aware of this, but they had looked at least, and they saw it in there. Why? Because the immigration department is running a scam to catch the brokers that are doing this deal. What is the deal? If you drop out of the school you're in and register with us at this place, we can get a deal for you with a visa. They have connections. And you won't have to even go. You can be working. You can take your classes online. You know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. And that's an easy thing to fall for.
Nothing comes for free, though.
No, of course not.
So generally, I guess an average of about 5,000 to 7,000.
Are there actual classes being taught, or is it just a scam to get to that point?
The whole thing is a fraud.
Okay, so they don't even get to the point where they would actually take classes.
They send them a paper, telling them that they're now registered with this college. They've been accepted, they're registered, they pay a fee.
Okay,
and then they send a check for the rest of the money that they're sending to the brokers. See?
Oh my goodness, that's just
since
awful.
They tell them it's a state university, so we can't. Whatever their charges are, we can't do. But this is our service charge.
Did they catch them?
Well, that's what the New York Times article was about.
Okay.
But they called the kid. They said the kids were aware of this, but how could they be if the name of this college is listed in these pamphlets and forms and things? Even the Department of Education in New Jersey listed this
Wow.
The University of Northern New Jersey. Anyways, have them all in court, and the kids. I don't know if they're kids. Anyways, they have a title as co-conspirators, which I don't think is fair.
That's not fair at all.
Well, that's where we are. It was a big piece, and we talked about this, and we know a little bit about it because there are some unscrupulous people out there. Well,
It's
what do you think
terrible.
about this whole story?
That's just heartbreaking. It's, preying upon ignorance is just cruel.
It is cruel.
And-
It doesn't. It's not fair.
There's no way to stop it.
No.
The only thing that, hope you have is to educate people as much as possible. But as we know by the Trump supporters, this is not a very smart country as a general entity. So unfortunately, it's going to keep happening.
That's right. And not only will it keep happening, it gets ugly, though. It gets ugly, and these kids are involved with this thing. They didn't do anything. They want to stay here and get an advanced degree or finish their college education. And
It's still the land of opportunity.
the gimmick is you can work and take these courses online. That's the
yeah.
gimmick. You don't have to go to classes
And
at the
that's
university.
tempting. That's
Of course,
very
it's
tempting.
what you can't say it's greed. They're not making money out of it.
No, to be able to work and go
except
to
these
school.
scam artists are the ones that are making money.
Yeah.
Well, anyways,
That's too
I don't
bad.
know if they're not getting away with it. That's the
Good.
big thing. I hope that they give these kids a break. All right, here's another item here. Nursing homes are increasingly evicting their most challenging residents.
Okay.
Testing protections for some of society's most vulnerable and advocates for the aged and disabled. In other words, the ones that need the most care,
Yeah.
because they're very sick, those are the ones,
That they're kicking out.
those are targeted and frequently poor and suffering from dementia, and removing them allows an often stretched thin staff that the administration isn't stretched thin. They collect theirs, okay. Removing them allows an often stretched thin staff to avoid the demands of labor-intensive patients. That's the title.
Okay.
In favor of ones who are easier and more profitable. When they get tired of caring for the residents, they kick the resident out, said Richard Moleth of the Long-Term Care Community Coalition, the New York advocacy group. They know about it, and it's going on across the country.
Where are these people going when they get kicked out?
The article didn't say that. That's when the relatives come in.
Okay.
They put them in a nice nursing home. They're paying the fees and the monthly payments and whatever.
But it's not worth it if their person is
if they need a huge
a lot
amount
of care.
okay.
And not just care, but attention and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I mean,
So-
people with mental issues are
But,
hard to deal with.
But if they put all of these people out of these nursing homes, what happens then? What happens to the
Exactly.
people that are supposed to take care of them? I don't. Not good.
It's definitely not a good deal.
Not a nice situation. You can
I
look
can
at that.
continue to
Yeah. Here's
move forward on this.
yeah. Then there was a woman that you would like to know more about, Betsy Sawyer.
Okay.
She's a teacher who guided a unique peace project. What was this project? Okay. You can even
Let me see.
read, start on the left side there.
What's
At the
the
top.
project?
Read up at the top.
A club formed by Betsy Sawyer at the Groton Dunstable Regional Middle School created a massive volume of essays, poetry, and artwork called The Big Book,
Yeah.
Pages for Peace. The Dalai Lama and Nelson Mandela are among its contributors. Very nice. So
It's
she
all about
created
peace,
a book of
world peace. And everybody can send in stuff, and they put it in a book.
And this book is huge.
And
according
it's a
to this
huge
picture.
book. Yeah, it's a huge
it's not
book.
a little book.
It's very popular. I think it was a heck of a great idea. She got sick with leukemia, and she's passed on.
Aw,
Too bad.
but she made an impact.
She made an impact, and she did
That's-
something good, and it was important. And
That's all we can hope to do.
And then there's this marijuana thing comes back.
Okay, well, Arch
We
is
all-
not here to defend
No,
his,
yeah,
I mean, to fight with me about
No,
it, so yes.
and I don't fight with you about it. The state went ahead and I voted for it to be medical marijuana and whatever, you know. Now they're having
Fortunately, a lot
another
of people
one,
did.
which is,
The one in this year that's coming up,
yeah.
Yep.
There's another one at this next election. It'll be,
they're expecting it to be voted in.
it's very close,
Yeah.
says the news, the Globe article today. It's very tight.
Yeah, it's
It's
there's gonna be
recreational.
it's going to be a heavy push for it.
Yeah.
When the time comes
I
to get the word out that people need to pay attention.
I had a sister-in-law who made marijuana brownies a long time ago,
Nice.
which I thought
Did you
I didn't
enjoy
know.
'em?
She didn't tell us. We went over
What did
to
you
her.
think was happening?
I said, well, these are the best I ever had. I told. She's laughing her head off.
That's funny.
It was another. My brother-in-laws were both there, and I won't give. She's passed on, but it's a true story.
That's
Hey,
funny.
All right.
So you personally came in contact with marijuana, is what you're saying?
Yeah,
And you had no problem with it, and you don't hate it.
I thought it was pretty good.
There you go. At least, it's all natural, so that's at least a good starting point.
Yeah, I think, and then they have this oil that they were talking about, which
Mm-hmm.
will be sold through these stores. I don't have any problem with that, anyways.
There's going to be so much that they're going to be able to give to the community by doing this. Like I think I said this, I don't know if I said it last week, but for recreational use, that encompasses even medical users, because medical users who don't have the luxury of registering themselves as a medical user.
They can't walk probably. They're in wheelchairs, a lot
Yeah,
of them.
but yet they can't, necessarily put their name in a database. So the recreational use will allow them to get access to more quality products, and they'll know exactly what kind of medicine they're getting versus buying a bag of marijuana off the street.
This is a cop-out, as far as I'm concerned, with the legislature. They could have resolved this without putting it on the ballot. And,
Of course.
they could. That's what we pay them, a good salary. They only work a few days a week.
It's a controversial subject, though.
Yeah,
You
but
can't-
that's
this
what-
would be a hard one to just
But we
do.
turn to our representatives and state and reps to make decisions like this because we're paying them. They know more.
You think.
And they're well educated, most of them, we think. Yeah.
You think.
This is a very good idea that I think they came up a long time ago. It has to do, if you have to go to New York City from here, you got to go through Logan, which is 2 hours in the security,
Yep.
and then another hour to get
On the other end.
and then you got to fly there, and it's a long day or a long night to get to New York. It's not cheap anymore.
Nope.
Okay.
So you were bringing to everyone's attention
It
the
was on the-
seaplane.
yeah,
that
it's
they
on
will
the
be
front
flying right
page.
out of Boston Harbor.
Yeah, it was on the front page of the
That's
Globe
incredible.
also. I think it's a good
Where are they
idea.
going to pick up and drop off?
Yeah, if you for businessmen that want to make a meeting and want to get there for that day, they can fly down at 9 o'clock in the morning and be back by noontime for lunch with their own company.
That'll be incredible if that actually.
They're saying $1,000 round trip.
Okay.
Okay, I think
That is
that's what it
that's
is.
expensive
That's
to
what
New
it
York.
is by the plane. The big passenger planes now.
Not to New York.
I don't know.
No.
You don't think?
No, that's extremely expensive.
First class.
First class maybe, but not, regular.
If you have a seaplane that's going to seat about 9.
Well, exactly. So then it becomes a
Becomes
first
first class.
experience.
It is, and so they're going to.
then that makes sense that it would be that much.
And they're trying
under
to
those
figure out.
circumstances.
They haven't decided. They're trying to get a place where they can land the seaplanes.
Okay.
I have been in a couple of them. I've taken rides in them, and the pilots are very good, and I have no problem with it. I wish I knew how to fly a seaplane. And then let's say it's very choppy out there in the ocean. They can't. The question comes with this added traffic. Will it bother the planes landing and taking off from Logan?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a good question. And then
They might take it off from a completely different location.
they're going to have it here in the point is downtown is where all the businessmen
Yeah.
are. Okay, so they want to, and they got these wonderful areas on the waterfront in South Boston now with all this new building that's gone up. And
Oh,
one
yeah.
guy, two of them have already said there's no problem. They could land there. And
Okay.
anyways,
That'll
we'll
be
see.
interesting.
I think it's a good idea, and its time has come. And why should it's another form of transportation
Yep.
that
Keeping people moving, keeping congestion down, especially for people who can afford that.
if they can afford it, good. Let them do it. I'd like to see it happen. And they're not doing the racing. Boston gave up on that. The races, okay.
What races?
They have that great speed. What do they call it? There's a name for it. It's a race, car racing.
The Speedway?
Yeah, they're going to have
Suffolk Downs?
It
No,
could
that's
have been.
the-
They were going to have it around the waterfront, which would have been fun. And they sold a lot of tickets, and they evidently couldn't finance the thing properly. What Boston wants these businessmen to pay for all the things that they need there, and they weren't prepared to go forward with it.
In the
That's-
future, I'm sure something like
Well,
that will come about.
we
Maybe
lost
not
out on the
Speedway.
Olympics, Boston. That's the
I don't
same.
think we lost out on it. We chose not to
Yeah,
be
well,
part
we
of
didn't
that.
want
There's a
to. We
difference.
got stuck with the bills.
Exactly.
Okay,
We're
all right.
smart people to
I
know that
think
that was
so.
not the way
Okay.
for our city.
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
well,
let's. This
so
is.
you can introduce this what we do
right.
now. The thespians.
And this is. You have to say it. What? You got to be
it's-
Arch.
Arch is the Thespian Society. the
Okay.
Fun Shows Thespian Society.
Okay.
Unrehearsed.
Unrehearsed Fun
Okay.
Show Thespian Society.
Yeah,
is
and
that?
the name of this is a one-act play. It's called Impasse, and I wrote this back in '03.
That was a long time ago.
2003. It's a long time ago. So a lot of the people you'll be hearing about, as you can, that's 7 and 6 is 13 years ago. So that's a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say 13.
All right.
I'm glad we got there.
Action. we could take him out.
Who?
Of course.
Take him out where?
Fed up hearing about him.
You've lost me.
Nothing new.
Saddam is who you're talking about.
So.
Why are we talking about this?
Because he's a friend.
Saddam's a friend?
That's reassuring.
How about Iraq?
Who's he?
He's a country.
Oh, she's a country, a motherland.
Where are we going with this?
Could be fatherland.
But America is our homeland.
Okay, we'll agree.
Let's get back to Iraq.
It's not much on geography. I'm not much on that.
It's near Asia.
Oriental, like China?
Not exactly.
Well, the Taliban did blow up those ancient Buddhas,
We went to war against them.
not the Buddhas.
Don't patronize me.
If we could just hit Saddam,
Assassination can be foreign policy, I suppose.
yeah. But we're good guys.
Saddam is a real baddie.
We don't just kill people because we don't like them.
It's been all over the papers for months.
I don't read the newspapers.
Why?
Too many words.
You could get news from TV or radio.
Get rid of them. Time consuming. Same for the books.
No books, magazines.
No interruptions. Our kids are doing homework.
But Iraq is a current event in schools.
All that paper and books, just dust collectors.
Our whole country is debating this.
I work hard and my wife takes care of the kids.
So you're not interested in what's happening.
My family is my #1 priority.
This killer could blow up the world.
He's there, I'm here.
He could start a plague with anthrax.
My wife and kids could be in danger?
Absolutely.
Well, what about evidence?
Now we're getting someplace.
He's threatened to attack us?
He's part of a terrorist plot.
They're tying him into 9/11.
Yep. Good heavens, and that's dreadful.
Not so indifferent now, I guess.
The school is having a field trip.
Saddam is bad news for all of us.
The principal should cancel it.
Not so calm now, eh?
Yeah, but what about the UN?
They've got inspectors busy hunting.
I think I should call the PTA.
It's not that simple.
What had they discovered?
He's had years to hide everything.
It's Superintendent Gorski. Is a Superintendent Gorski aware of this?
You mean Blix?
Gorski was just hired this summer.
Maybe Gorski is Blix's new assistant.
Sorry, but it can't be.
Gorski, Blix, what's the difference?
My kids would know the difference.
Why?
He's the new superintendent of schools.
Listen, Saddam has deadly bacteria, poison gas, nuclear bombs.
But this is inhuman.
Who said he was normal?
We're dealing with an unstable nut.
Well, if that's the case,
In spades.
then what is the president waiting for?
By George, I think he's got it.
I'd like to congratulate you on that, your cogent analysis, my dear.
Still, these things take time.
You mean you're backing off?
Innocent until proven guilty.
That's what this guy, what's with this guy, anyways?
Everybody has rights.
And in Iraq, the right to get a bullet in the head.
And another unmarked grave in the desert.
That's hyperbole.
But we've got the goods on him.
Him?
Saddam!
Oh, yeah, Saddam, around the bend.
You remember that foreign country, Iraq?
Yeah, I got it good. Go on.
We never discussed world affairs.
Why should we?
Your father was in World War II.
And you were called up for Vietnam,
I spent 2 years as a nurse in a hospital
in Japan.
on a U.S. military base.
What's that got to do with it?
I stayed on the base.
You didn't do any sightseeing?
Too busy with helping wounded GIs.
What about Desert Storm?
George Sr. was president,
Correct.
and everyone joined in with us.
Here we go.
And it only lasted a couple days.
Saddam was left in charge again.
But we bombed the heck out of them first.
So what?
All that cost big bucks.
Our allies helped pay for most of it.
What about this time?
George Sr. was more persuasive.
Now, hold on.
I'm mixed up.
Look, we take Saddam out and pay the bills later.
Yes, but who pays?
Probably we do.
That means higher taxes.
That's the price of freedom.
But I'm already free.
It's the people of Iraq.
Isn't that their business?
Finally.
Saddam won't let it be.
How do you know?
If you disagree with him,
Fine, you disappear.
that's rotten.
They just had a presidential election,
That's good.
and everybody voted,
See, that's democracy.
but he was the only candidate.
Nobody else?
Who would run against him?
If I was the leader of the other party.
There isn't any.
But this is 2003.
Not in Iraq.
What about Cuba?
They've had Castro for the last 40 years.
But if you're unhappy, you can swim to Miami with
I
the Sharks.
don't think that's funny.
The Sharks do. You'd be on their menu.
Trying to escape from North Korea or starving.
Another communist country
Iran is an Islamic republic ruled by an Ayatollah.
next door to Iraq.
So we're back to Saddam.
And our military are prepared to attack.
Without international backing.
I guess you've helped me, guys.
That's what friends are for, buddy.
What about your family?
They don't trust him.
Then there's the anti-war demonstrations.
It's a free country.
And if one of your kids was sent to fight,
I can't answer.
well, we think George W. is right.
And his advisors have made a strong case.
That's fine, and thanks for filling me in.
But you won't commit?
I'm an American citizen, and I stand with the flag.
That's good enough for me.
But it took a while.
Still, we did listen to each other peacefully. Blacked out.
Blackout. Okay.
Yay.
Yay. All
That was
right.
fun. The arch was missed.
Here's another from the obits. A very nice. in the New
Very
York-
nice. The obits are very nice.
Yeah.
Is that what you just said?
Yeah,
You want to
obituaries.
retract that?
I like that.
You like the. Why do old people comb the obituaries?
Oh, I suppose my name and picture might be there soon. Who knows?
Yes, but you're not going to see it there.
No, I won't see it.
Are you
but
just looking
I'll
to
get
see
a
if
message.
people you know are dropping
Rini
off
will
like
give me a
flies?
call. I got a phone down there, and she'll give me a call. This is about James Horton. I think I got his pronunciation, but this is a guy whose name I remember. 86, fought bias in the building trades.
Okay.
Everybody talks about jobs. This guy, for black people and for Latinos, anyways, he went out for minorities to get jobs for them.
Okay.
And what did he do? He said, He's a civil rights advocate who aggressively challenged their racial barriers at hiring at construction sites in the 1960s and 70s.
Good for him.
And he promoted programs to train black and Hispanic apprentices, kids out of high school, in the building trades. But he died in April in Manhattan. He was 86. Anyways,
He left a good mark.
he left. That's the point of all this, the protests and everything that he did to break down racial barriers in hiring at construction sites. He himself was the son of a construction worker. He was best known for breaking with moderate proponents of equal opportunity in hiring and housing to form what it became known as Fight Back. That was the name of an organization he started.
All right.
I like that. A group based in Harlem. Well, you want to take a look at some of this?
Well, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, you can.
What else you got over there?
We got what else?
You got
we
any other sad,
Yeah, this is a good
happy
story. No, this is a good story. They are celebrating in Brazil the descendants of Dixie. Very few people in our country know that people who knew that the war was ending, the Southerners, Confederates, knew that the war was ending, the Civil War, and they were losing it in 1965, 64 even.
You mean 18?
I mean 1865, thank you. And
No problem.
64. So this fellow who was Dom Pedro, who was the emperor of Brazil, offered good deals for Southerners. He was also pro-Confederate,
Okay.
and he offered them opportunities, havens, but lots of opportunities to buy in, to have lands.
Can I see?
Sadly, what's sad about this? They were celebrating this past week. Sadly, they had slavery then in
Colombia?
Brazil,
Brazil,
which is one
sorry.
of the attractions for these people from the Confederate States who wanted to get out before the doom fell on them.
Oh my goodness.
So they did. They went down there, and some of them started the same process again. And unfortunately, and then in 1888, Brazil did away with slavery.
Okay.
It is now I'd say a racially equal country. It's mixed race, 51%, maybe higher.
Okay.
That's in 2016. So everybody that was celebrating now has a Portuguese name. The men, the women, the kids, and they meet at this cemetery where a lot of the Southerners who were Confederates, they wear Confederate hats and Confederate uniforms. It's a big deal. They were fried chicken and all the goodies.
I think we're out of time.
Yeah, we were almost there.
I think we're almost out of time.
We got 1.5 minutes. Well, anyways, that's the deal.
Okay.
If you and a lot of Southerners go down there for this celebration now.
Yeah.
To be part of this, but the people that are there are all speaking Portuguese.
That's too funny.
No, they learned some English there.
Yeah.
But actually, after all these generations, okay. Well, we're at the time. We had a
You have
lot
to
more
sing with me.
goodies.
You can't make me sing by myself.
You want to sing?
You have to sing with me.
Okay. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. Irene, good night. Irene,
Good night.
we'll see you in.
our dreams. Good night, Irene. Reenie. Happy
And
Mother's
next
Day
week,
belated.
yeah, and next week we'll see
Arch will be back. things will
General.
be happening.
He's a general down there. Or maybe he'll wear his uniform and he'll be back and he'll tell us all about
He better.
Williamsburg.
I can't wait to hear all about it.
Yeah, and what other things?
I don't know.
Should
I don't think there is anything.
we had
I
some-
mean, I could do the countdown.
We have the countdown. We're still.
2,